Good morning. Welcome to our Friday News Roundup. This is the fourth of 8 segments discussing the road to 850, the drive to 850, and your credit score based on a book by Al Bingham of the same name. Today we want to expand on one of our previous segments, which was inquiries, and talk a little bit about inquiries. Obviously, an inquiry is when a company, a vendor, somebody who provides credit, makes an inquiry to the credit bureaus about your credit score. And there are a couple of different key points to this that become very critical. The first that we'd like to discuss is why that particular company is making the inquiry. If you're applying for a car loan, for example, and you go to 4 or 5 different car dealerships, and you're all making the same inquiry, it's not as derogatory if you go to a car dealership and then to a furniture store and then to a soundware company where they provide video equipment, something like that. So it's the type of the inquiry. This is a key point because in some cases the inquiry gets mislabeled. And of course, if the vendor mislabels your inquiry, that can be seen as a derogatory on your credit report. So being very careful to make sure that the purpose for the inquiry is labeled correctly becomes important. Another thing that's important in that aspect is that when you're applying with a vendor for credit, and we'll stick with cars because that's a very common application, you need to make sure that the individual vendor, meaning the car dealership, is not shopping your loan to different lenders, because there is a limit. If you have 6 or more inquiries, regardless of the type, within a 12-month period, that can be considered to be a derogatory by some of the credit unions, the credit reporting companies as well. So if you go to a vendor and they shop your loan and your credit report to different lenders to see if they can get a better rate, that can be good and bad. Obviously, better rates are good. But at the same time, if they're shopping to 6 or more, then the reporting agencies are going to see that as a derogatory. So in summarizing up that thought, you have inquiries are ranked by the total number of inquiries. They're ranked by the date and specifically the age of the inquiry. Something that's 2 months old, 6 months old, or 12 months old might be ranked differently. We said they ranked by the type of application, for what type of credit it is. And then, of course, the number of loans that are opened. If you make several inquiries and never buy the car, there's a question as to why the inquiries were made, and that can be seen as a derogatory. When talking about inquiries, perhaps should have started with this first, but when talking about inquiries, there's a hard inquiry and a soft inquiry. So a hard inquiry is done by a person who is going to actually extend credit, such as a purchase, something along those lines. A soft inquiry is done by other vendors, health insurance providers, utility companies, things like that, that are not basing their inquiry on a credit decision. And soft inquiries don't affect your credit quite as much as a hard inquiry might. One thing to remind us, or just want to bring your attention to again, is there is a significant drop in your credit score just because it might be mislabeled. And so you do want to pay attention to how that's being requested. Don't just automatically request a credit report and assume that it's being labeled correctly. Some of the larger financial institutions, banks, large department chain stores might be an example where they have multiple uses for a credit report. And so you want to make sure that when you're talking to your financial institution that they are in fact applying for a credit type that you are interested in and not just doing a general check. So there's a brief overview again of the inquiry segment of the road to 850. And again, I highly encourage you to pursue this information and protect your credit score. And of course, that's a long-term benefit. Look forward to visiting you again in some of our future segments. And again, thank you to everyone for the introductions to those you care about so that I can help them in real estate and help them with their real estate ventures and purchase and sale. And really appreciate that and the trust that you place in me. If you have any questions, please feel free to give me a call or to check out our website. Send me a text or check out the Facebook page, Utah Realty Advisors, or URA, on Facebook. Thanks again and have a great weekend.